Hello, I'm Mono and welcome back to another map breakdown video. This time we'll be talking about FOY, one of my favorite maps in the game and a map that I know a lot of people struggle with and don't like. So I'll be trying to talk about it, going over some strats, talking about the middle points, the 3 possible middle points in detail, and then going over the rest of the map in, a bit less detail basically. So I'll be doing some footage here with the admin camera that allows you to fly around and see from this fantastic perspective. And I'm also going to be switching off to Strat Sketch, which is this thing right here, where I can draw some arrows and point some things out. Alright, so first let's talk about the 3 main points. We got West Bend, Southern Edge, and Dugout Barn. Now, the thing about these 3 points is that 2 of them, West Bend and Southern Edge, they give an advantage to the German side, let's say it that way, because the strong point is so close to the German side, say West Bend here for example, that the Germans can set an OP or garrisons like really close to the border to the strong point, while the Allied can only do so, for example, here. It's quite the difference. And that allows the Germans to have a really strong position on both West Bend and Southern Edge. However, there are some disadvantages, which I will mention in a bit. Okay, let's take a look at West Bend on the actual game. And here it is. And you can see that's the Allied side and that's the German side. Now, the Germans do not have a lot of cover that they can actually use to approach West Bend. One of the classic garrison locations is here behind this building, or around here, or around here. These locations, allow the Germans to basically run to West Bend at the start of the game, but you'll then have problems trying to set up a garrison, which a lot of people like to place right here, around this house, around this area that has some cover from the Allied advance. That garrison's going to be way too close for you to be able to set one here. I think that's fine. I prefer having those garrisons than I do the one on West Bend itself. I would rather have not the best garrison here on the strong point, but really have really good fallback garrisons. Because this garrison is going to get destroyed anyway with a bombing run or a tank or stuff like that. So the Allied, unlike the Germans, have this entire forest to cover their advance. Which once, if you're using smoke, you can really make some advance here. Very good positions for outposts. Actually, not very good, but very commonly used positions for outposts and garrisons are these houses that ruin and around here. So if you're a German, you want to try and flank around this area and take out their OPs. Great thing to do with a recon vehicle. And their backline garrison, the one at the border, is going to be around this area right here. If we can see, this is not the best position here. There we go. All right, so that's the border of the map. You can see right there. These 2 houses are the houses right there. So yeah, their garrison, their attack garrison is going to be somewhere around this area. And as you can see, you got quite a bit of cover. You can build that right there, and it's going to have some cover from tanks trying to flank and maybe take it out and stuff like that. Now, one thing to keep in mind about this map in general, and maps like this, like Purple Heart Lane, which are extremely open and only have a few areas with, buildings and actual hard cover, is the importance of artillery. At the start of the round, whatever the point is, if it's West Bend, if it's Southern Edge, if it's Dugout Barn, you want to RD the entire... let's talk about the Germans first. You want to RD this entire region. You want to RD this entire region. You want to RD this entire region. Because they are going to... the opposing team is going to set up a garrison, and they're going to run towards that strong point. Hitting them with RD is fantastic because they have no cover. So the each RD shell is probably gonna take quite a few guys. Same goes for the Allies RDing the German side. Obviously, you want to RD this position here, this area here, and around probably this area or that area. And one other thing about this is that it's extremely hard to flank Westbend because, as you can see, if Westbend is right over there, there is a lot of open terrain around here. However, one crucial aspect that a lot of people seem not to notice or not to think about is that these ridges do actually offer hard cover. And I'm going to show you that right here. If you are prone here, the guys on that side and on that side of the forest cannot shoot at you. If you're prone in this location, you can prone all the way from that house to over, like, yeah, there's this exposed area, but you can prone all the way from this house, which is actually a really good spot to set up a garrison or OP or something. Prone all the way here, and you can build an AT gun that fires over this forest location. You can build it here, and you will have some cover from the guys on the left. Obviously, if they can't climb that building there that you can see in the background, they will be able to shoot. But you know, this is a decent location for an AT gun or stuff like that. And don't forget that you can actually go prone and get, you know, the 30 or 40 centimeters, whatever you need, to actually hide your body from the enemy in this position. So if you lose Westbend, you know, places to flank around the Germans, you'll want to go around this area like this. That's the house we were talking about earlier, like this. Just try and get behind the Allies and, you know, flank around this way. For the Allies, it's going to be a bit tougher because this area is also extremely exposed. And the difference is that while the Germans can build their OPs all around this area, because of the way that the strongpoint is located, the Allies can't really flank around this area with their OPs. You want to set up around this area and attack from the flank, which is not easy, and also attack from here. But if you lose Westbend as Allies, it's a tough point, dude. It's a tough point, definitely. All right, Southern Edge has the same problem. And Southern Edge, extremely classic garrison location for Southern Edge is right there, which I'm going to show you now in game. It's this 3-story building right here. There's a courtyard behind it. A lot of people put their garrisons here or there or basically around this area. Why? Because it allows you to run straight into, that's this building right here. I'm gonna put a move mark, you can see it right there. That's gonna allow you to go straight into this area, which is already the cap sectors for Southern, the 4 cap sectors. So Southern Edge, great point for the Germans to take. You can see a lot of cover around this area that you can use. And then you get onto this area, which has some cover for the Germans and quite some cover for the Allies. This is a point that sees a lot of fighting, and a good way to be able to be effective in this area is a lot of smoke, and that is a constant throughout the entire map. Same goes for basically every map. Smoke is extremely important, it's really good, and once you use a lot of it, you can basically go anywhere. The other point is you want to have your tanks flank around this area, because that will give them shots to the back of this building right here, where the Allies are going to put their OPs, and these buildings right here where they will also be at. They will be coming in from that area, from this forest. I believe you can set a garrison. Yeah, that's the border of the sector right here. They will set garrisons around this area. The Germans, so as allied, you want to basically rush this all the way to here. And I'm sorry that I'm moving the camera too fast, by the way. You want to flank into this area right here and get on those trenches and ideally shoot some already right around the center of my screen to prevent the Germans from actually getting to basically this area and controlling that position. Now, it is a tough point as well. Another great thing that you can do, especially as allies, is take control of these buildings, this area right here. I'm going to show now on Strat Sketch how this benefits the team. Right, so let's remember that the cap sectors on Southern Edge are all these 4 sectors. The buildings and the trench areas that we were seeing were these areas right here, basically. And if you flank around... Oh, I didn't know you could do that. Okay, so you can set a Gary around this position to be able to flank all the way here, take out their garrison, and go back to the strong point. This is something that I tend to do in basically every single game that I play as allies on FOY and against Southern Edge. The other, the other flank that I like doing is going around this area, around Dugout Barn, all the way through here, and do the same thing. Now the problem with that is that your OP, the last OP you can set, is going to be around this area, right? That's the latest OP, the closest OP you can have to be able to do this, and that's obviously not really good. So what you can do is try and build a garrison somewhere around here, maybe get some influx of people. There's also some, if you can also do this. There's a couple of forests area around here. I'm going to show you guys that in the game. But you basically want, this is obviously, I think, the preferred way. You can also go across here, put some pressure across here. This is a great staging area for an assault on Southern Edge, and I see that have success a lot of times. All right, let's review this eastern side of Southern Edge, and then let's go to Dugout Barn. This area, if you're coming in from Dugout Barn in order to flank onto Southern Edge, you can see, again, these do offer cover. You just have to be patient. If you prone your way here, or even if you just crouch run your way through this, you might not get spotted. And you can go all the way through here, set up an OP or something around here, and from here, you cross to this area, and you're basically at Southern Edge already. I'm gonna mark this. I can't mark this on the map, fortunately, but let's put a random location around there, and that's that area right here. So you can see you can get onto Southern Edge across that gap, and these trees provide some decent cover. You can go across here. Sometimes you'll find some OPs and stuff around this area right here. Yeah, and yeah, you can basically get on not the strongest of flanks, but definitely a flank going across those gaps right there. All right, now let's go on to Dugout Barn, and this is one of the hardest points, I think. Once you lose this point, you can see all the open area around it, especially for the Germans. For the Allies, you got those corridors right there. You also got the train tracks on the left. You need a lot of smoke to be able to cross these open areas, which you can do if you got a good squad and one guy throws the smoke, then the other one, and you go, facing that smoke, so you always have smoke in front of you. You can actually, cross any open area in the game, basically. Now, a lot of people like building their garrisons inside of this and fortifying with barbed wire or bulging gates and stuff like that, which is really awesome. Actually, it's really, it does work. You can also block off this area with barbed wire if you're German, or the other one if you're allied. This is a really strong defensible position, I think. But once you cap this, especially as Germans, you want to push, and same goes for West Bend. If you cap West Bend as Germans, you want to push south as fast as you possibly can, and hopefully try and get some flanking units as well. Because, as I mentioned earlier, the Allies do have decent cover, and they can overwhelm you you know, they can go all the way across here and get on the point. Now, in order to prevent that, German MG42s raining down fire across this entire street and all this area. You could set up some defenses, get a tank. There's a really high, great position for a tank. There's some high terrain here, which you can use to fire. Also some hard cover. There's also, you know, you can see the elevated terrain here compared to this more depressed area right there. So all around this center area of the map, great for tanking. That house right here, and we'll go to Skratch soon. This is a great, not a great place to set a garrison, but a place a lot of people used to set a garrison. All right, so Dugout Barn, the area I was talking about to set garrison, right there behind that building. You can also have these here. There's some trenches here that you can use, and I'm going to show you one of my favorite spots, which can go extremely unnoticed and can get you to be able to cap Dugout Barn in a really unusual way. All right, obviously, you know, the garrison on Eastern is going to be somewhere around here, and you know, you'll do this to attack, you'll do this to attack. Again, open areas around here. Another angle is like trying to get here, but you will really struggle to flank this as allied. Something that I see a lot of people do, a lot of good squads do, is go all the way around, and try and get around here. You know, try and maybe get a garrison on southern edge and attack from there. For the Germans, you know, same basically, just mirrored on the other side. You got the train tracks here. You can overlook this area, and you can flank right here. All right, one area that I do want to show is this set of trees right here. You can really hide your OPs and garrisons around this area, and if you do, you have just a tiny bit of distance to this part. And once again, you can see if you crouch or if you go prone around this area, you can get to Dugout Barn fairly quickly without getting noticed or without, you know, encouraging too much fire. Because, like, yeah, check this out. Like, obviously I'm using the admin camera, so I can go like all the way flat. But definitely you can use this. You can get around this area right here. And I've done this several times. You jump over here and boom, you're in a great defensive location where you can harass the enemy. You can find if they have any garrisons or OPs around here, and you are basically on the point. You know, maybe you can build an OP like right there. Why not? You can build one right there. And most people will not see this, because they'll be too busy like looking south and fighting the infantry that's coming in from the south. So that's a great spawn. Also great fallback for the Germans. If you cap this area, great fallback for them. If you're a tanker, definitely you want to shoot some HE rounds into that area. All right, now let's talk about a bit about the map in general. The key to FOY, I think, is being able to flank effectively, use arty, and use tanks, and be able to flank effectively in a map that has a lot of open terrain, and you'll get seen. So learning to use those hedgerows and those pockets of trees to hide your OPs and hide your advances is extremely necessary to be able to be effective on this map. Now, all of these points, you can see you got some forest areas around here. Those are the areas you always want to control because they offer the most amount of cover. So they'll be the ones, like here, this area on forest outskirts, that's basically the only avenue of attack that the Germans have around this area that is undercover. Same goes for this area right here. Everything else is open terrain. And the same goes for Boys Jacks. This area is all forest. This area is all forest. This area right here, open terrain, open terrain. So keep in mind, you know, the forest areas that you want to be able to control to get onto that position. Bisri Foy Road, again, this entire area, it's covered with trees. Great to be able to attack Bisri Foy. So from here, and this area right here, you got some trenches. You can basically set, there's a house there. You can set there and attack Foy Road from over there. That's basically the gist of every location in the entire map except for Foy Town. Sorry, and Coke Brew Factory. What else? Artillery, incredibly important in this map. You will get a lot of kills in arty, so definitely do use it. So definitely a great map for tankers, a great map for arty. You know, infantry struggles in this map. Some people do. I really enjoy it. I think it's one of my favorite maps. Yes, there are some points which are really hard to take back, like West Bend, which can be a pain in the ass if you're allied and playing against a good German team, because they have basically all the advantage. Same goes for Southern Edge, but it's a really engaging map. I think the area around Foy, let's go there, because that's something that I haven't mentioned. You have a lot of different buildings that you can use as cover. There's that set of buildings right there. You can use that to set a garrison, you know, fallback garrison on Foy. Foy offers some great locations. One awesome location, all this entire area, you can see there's a lot of places where you can hide your OPs and garrisons. This area is really strong, and you can come off this area across that broken building, across the backside here, go inside this building here, go from here onto this set of buildings right here. So yeah, Foy Town is one of my favorite positions in the entire game to play in. Really fun and interesting. There's a lot of broken houses and buildings and stuff. You know, you can get some fire from here. This is just all around great location. All right, that's gonna be it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you do have any comments or suggestions or things that you would like me to see address in this type of videos, then please leave a comment down in the comment section. And as always, thank you for watching, and I hope I will catch you on the next one.